where the place where the two parties both have a shot to be ahead is on the economy. And so I think it has to be the objective of the administration of Republicans in Congress to regain the edge on the economy over the next year. Luckily, they can. Democrats just elected a socialist mayor in New York City. The biggest office they had to give away, they gave it to someone who doesn't even believe in capitalism. So we can do it, but you have to be focused.
All right, so I want to bring in CNN White House reporter Elena Treen actually on this very question, because Elena, you have some new reporting about how the president and his advisors might address this very concern that Brad Todd was just laying out, how to try and gain the upper hand politically on the affordability issue. What are you hearing?
Well, there's two sides to this. One are the president's advisors, who are essentially telling him, look, this is a real issue. This is something that Americans are feeling. They are feeling it. You see this in the polls. But you can't, prevent people or tell them not how to feel about the economy and about their paychecks and about the prices at the grocery stores. And so widespread throughout the administration, people recognize that this is an issue. And from what I've been told from my conversations with White House officials is the president recognizes this as well. Except for him, he sees this as a perception and messaging issue. And he believes that his administration has done a lot to try and bring down inflation, to help matters on the economy, but that people aren't feeling it or seeing it. And so, you saw him last night. Everyone's been talking about that interview with Fox News' Laura Ingraham, where she was asking the president directly, then why do people say that they have so much anxiety about the economy if the economy is great? And there he kind of brushed away those concerns, saying, I don't believe that. I think the polls are fake. But then also in the same breath, you've heard him, Casey, over the last week or so, kind of pulling out these different issues that show that he is feeling this as well. And you can kind of hear the frustration when you hear him talk about, this idea of sending $2,000 checks to Americans using tariff revenue to help them pay for their bills. You've heard him talk about meatpacking prices going up, or this idea of 50-year mortgages. Those are all signs that the president recognizes they need to do more on this issue. And I do think you can expect, and I've heard this in my conversations with White House officials, that they will be planning new messaging on this. At the same time, they recognize that this is still a long way off from the midterms. Other advisors have told him, tariffs, your tariff policies have created some sort of ripple in the economy that will likely change. We'll see difference in that by next year's midterms, because so much of this attention on this issue of affordability really did stem from those elections last week. It was a warning sign for a lot of Republicans, including people in that building behind me. And so they are grappling with how to change their message on this. You might see the president doing more events on this as well. But there's definitely a broad acknowledgement that this is a problem and that they have to change it. The question is, there is a bit of a division of whether they need to really change their policies or, in the president's mind, really change the messaging on this.
All right, Elena Treen, thanks very much for that. Really appreciate it. Jonah, does it ever work to just change the messaging? I mean, when I find usually that when politicians come after a loss and they just say, well, we just didn't communicate it. We just didn't do a good enough job telling people the real story. No offense, Mo, Democrats did this a lot in 2024.
Oh, we did.
But usually it's not good enough, right?
Yeah, because again, people are experts on their own situation. And, look, I mean, my point about people used to say economic security, now they say affordability. Affordability taps into this feeling of uncertainty. It's just like, what's AI going to be doing to my job, or my wife's job, or my husband's job?
I mean, I got little kids. I'm like, what are they going to? What is the school going to teach them how to do?
Car repossessions are like a 20-year high, right? Like, if your car is being repossessed because you can't make your car payments, messaging is totally irrelevant to you, because that's where your real life is. And there's a lot of that kind of stuff that's ground truth that the White House cannot spin away. And Democrats couldn't do it, Republicans can't.
Well, there's an old country song that says, don't believe your lying eyes. And that's it never works to tell people not believe their lying eyes.
Yeah. I wish we could just bump out on that song as we go to break here. Coming up in the arena, a stark new warning when it comes to air travel, why it could take years for the industry to fully recover from this shutdown, as more flight cancellations roll in and staffing shortages cause delays to pile up. Plus, Schumer in survival mode. What's next for the minority leader amid new calls from inside his own party to step aside from leadership after 8 Democrats jumped ship on the shutdown?
These Democratic defectors did get one concession. Senate Majority Leader John Thune promised them a vote on the ACA in December, because that's when people get down to serious work.